What's going on, guys? It is 25 Days of Disney. I'm Brian,
I'm Jennifer.
and this is my first couple of videos here. We're doing it a little bit different for this year since it's all the COVID stuff, but we're still bringing you the good stuff. We're still bringing you Disney. We've been kind of ramsacked a little bit by a bunch of stuff that's been happening with Mike and Amanda and all their wedding and stuff like that. But we are here for 25 Days of Disney, and today we are actually going to be talking about the Disney Store. We have a lot of personal memories about the Disney Store. We're going to talk about some of the history, and then we're going to talk about how we love the Disney Store
hmm
and the differences between now and then. The first Disney Store opened in the Glendale Galleria in California on March 28th, 1987. It's been around for a while, very long time.
Definitely around for a while.
It looks like when the stores closed or didn't get closed, but they lost a lot of executives in 2004. It was sold to Children's Place. Children's Place wanted to expand the number of stores and reduce initial selling prices. The Children's Place obviously took hold of what the Disney Store originally was, and that's when it all started changing for us. Because
hmm
I think the original Disney Store is much better than the new Disney Store.
hmm
Even though now it has Marvel and Star Wars and a bunch of other cool stuff, it's still not as good because it used to sell a lot of collectibles.
Oh, I know. It was amazing. So then I'm going to roll into some other points talking about the history of the Disney Store. So Brian just mentioned that the Children's Place bought out, or they had ownership of the Disney Store. So the Disney Company no longer owned the Disney Store, except for the one in New York that was the Manhattan store. So if you worked for the Disney Store, you no longer worked for the Disney Company. And I know a lot of people wanted to work for the Disney Store because they got the same perks and specialty things and like park discounts as people who worked in the Disney parks. But when the Children's Place came along and bought it, that wasn't a thing anymore. So the Children's Place did some good for the Disney Store. They actually opened several other outlet stores across the United States, and it had a lower operating cost, which typically had a high profit margin, even though they had reduced prices versus the mall stores. So what I'm rambling about is the Children's Place opened these outlet stores that was not really located in several areas. It was mainly, like, you want to say, Florida. So what would happen is any merchandise that was from Disney World that was like out of season, or they bought way too much inventory or stock, they would actually push this to the outlet stores. An example is that there is an outlet store that's still open today called the Character Warehouse in Florida. And on certain days of the week, they will get all of the old or end of the season merchandise from the Disney like parks. So like Disney World,
Hmm.
Magic Kingdom, Epcot, they'll ship it to this store and they actually sell it at a reduced price. And people go nuts for this, and that's one of the things that the Children's Place was able to do. And another example is like all those Loungefly book bags that are like $70, $100. They will actually get sent to those outlet stores, like the Character Warehouse, and they'll sell them for like $30.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So people
that's
go
way cheaper.
nuts. Yeah. So it, like, when Christmas ends, they will send some Christmas stuff from the parks to that place. So that's kind of a cool thing that the Children's Place was able to help Disney out. Unfortunately, though, Disney had this very strict licensing agreement, which included the burden of being required to invest in a lot of money to remodel the stores. When that happened, Children's Place wanted nothing to do with it anymore. So what happened was on May 1st, 2008, 231 Disney stores in North America once again became property of Disney. So because Disney wanted them to remodel, Children's Place backed out, and that's when Disney bought it back. And so since 2008, now Disney owns it again, and then they relaunched a brand new rebranding of the Disney stores. And a lot of people don't like that because it got rid of the old Disney store. So in
Hmm.
November 2009, they rebranded it where, for example, Apple's Steve Jobs who pioneered the Apple Store's retail concept, that was brought in to create that new look and design in the stores. So there are many stores that they took this idea concept, what Steve Jobs did with the Apple stores, like very basic, minimalistic shelving, clean and white, plain and simple. They brought that into the Disney stores, and unfortunately, some of that was brought into the one that's located near us, which Brian mentioned before, we have a lot of memories attached to. So Disney Store has gone through many different phases of time. So we just wanted to tell you some of the history of that. And now we're going to get into talking about memories or things we remember of the old versus the new Disney Store.
So like I remember that there was two parts to the Disney Store. There was the clothes section for they had clothes for kids and adults all the time. Really cool clothes too, like legitimate '90s design clothes for it. And then on the other side was all the collectibles, so like statues, toys, and I remember it was almost like collectible plates. They were all in like a row, like it was almost like a museum of stuff of sorts. And in the middle of them, they would be playing movies. Like legitimately, they'd be playing Disney movies. And I remember one of them was Fantasia, and it was I think it was Night on Bald Mountain. And I sat there for the entire thing, and my parents got so mad because they're like, "Let's go," and I'm like, I don't want to watch it." Just really cool stuff. Obviously, I couldn't buy anything. I didn't have any money, but I would love to see that stuff return.
I know, it's really sad because one of the memories I have from the Disney Store, and a lot of the old stores had this, was there was character sculptures around the ceiling and it bordered it. And it's not like flat printout 2D things. It was full blown like Mickey Mouse, or say like Peter Pan, or who, I don't remember exactly who was all in our Disney Store, but you had these sculptures around the ceiling that had like film reels, other symbols that represented the movies. And like Brian said, we had two sections. We had one huge area, and then you walked into the other area, and it was all like collectibles. There was specialty things that was more geared towards adults, but it was that there was something about those products though that appealed to many people now today, that it's sad that we don't have that anymore. And yeah, I know people say you can go to the parks and buy that stuff, but not everybody has that luxury. And it's just sad because the Disney Store now does not have those two sections. They cut it down in the middle. They only took one area. The other area where Brian said they would play movies, I want to say there was like a stuffed animal pyramid or tower or something like in the back. They sold that to, now it's called like Things to Remember. It's basically things you engrave for like weddings or special ceremonies or trinkets that you can engrave people's names on it and stuff. And it's sad because they could have had so many cool things over the years of new movies that came out, franchises that became popular. Think of the Marvel stuff they could have had.
Oh, jeez. There could be a legitimate full. They could take that room, a full section, and just make it all Marvel, and nobody would hate it. Like
I know.
they could be playing Marvel movies the entire time because they are technically for kids. They're not rated R or anything like that. And have the toys, shields, stuff like that, which they do now, and they have a movie section in the back now still with it, where they don't show the full movies. They just show clips and stuff like that, so that kids will be like, well, mom, I want to watch the rest of that movie, and obviously people will get it, but um, they have they have some cool collectibles there that now, like now they have the Star Wars coins, and they have some toys for Marvel and a lot of cool Disney, Mickey Mouse, all that stuff, but it's nowhere near what it was. Like I remember, it was like a Little Mermaid, so intricate, snow globe where it looked like
Yes, they had so many of different movies and characters. They don't even have it there anymore.
And it was Ariel holding up the snow globe and looking into it while you would hold up
Nice.
and look into it too, and just these incredible looking statues and stuff like that. Like these are one of a kind things, and there's a reason why they cost so much. They were like at least $40 each. But it's really
now they would be way more than that, Brian.
oh yeah, they'd be
2000
like
prices. If it was $40 back in 2000, it would probably be like 90 or 120 right now.
oh, without a doubt, those things would skyrocket because it was. But again, it was so intricate. It was almost like it was legitimately handcrafted.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
such
like
a
it just
bummer that they did that because, like I said, not everyone can go to the parks. And yeah, you can order the stuff off of Shop Disney, but it's different to be able to go in your, a local Disney store, or if it's in like a couple cities over, and see the stuff in person and get that experience of the different collectibles, the giant stuffed animals. And over the years, it's gone through phases too. When that redevelopment happened, the uniqueness of what they had there went away. It's all, we're always going to carry the same 10 stuffed animals and only bring a couple in if there's like a new movie out, and then they'll go away. And there's a ton of kids' toys, kids' clothing and costumes and stuff. And it stayed that way for a very long time. In recent years, at the beginning of the Disney store, they started to bring in things that they now sell at the parks. So you can buy like the Minnie Mouse ears, and Brian put a pair on last year for 25 Days of Disney. I have a picture, I'll try to insert that clip.
yeah.
They'll sell actual merchandise that even says Disney World or Disneyland on it. Like you said, they'll bring in the specialty Star Wars coins, pins, kitchen cookware they've brought in. So they're starting to bring the stuff back for adults, which I'm happy about, because it was such a downfall when it was just like a kids store only, like kids toys. Like, what do we want with all these like bath toys and crap?
And it became for a little bit there. I want to say from like maybe 2 years. Like there was still boys' toys and stuff like that, like action figures, Marvel stuff. It was predominantly princesses for a long time, where because they still have the like medieval castle thing where you can go and change to your princess outfit. I was 15, 16 when that was going on, so I wasn't going in there anyways to try to put on clothes, but
I thought you
it's
were going to
still
try to dress up like a Disney princess.
no. But like when everything is garnered towards the princesses, which princesses are very popular, but boys don't want to look at that. They want the Cars movies or Hercules or
Speaking
the.
of, this I think
You got
was
a little
from the
white queen
Disney
back there.
store. This is Julia's.
Here's the thing: it's not bad what happened to it. It sucks for us because we grew up with what is probably the much better store. But
Iconic.
they have more streamlined things now that everybody would want, instead of finding that one collector who finally found that aerial snow globe. So I see why they went that way, but it still kind of sucks. It's still good memories. There's still fun things to think about with the Disney store, and there's still cool stuff to go in and see now, because they are starting to bring back the trinkets and the cool stuff for adults, and hopefully it starts getting back to the point where there's a collectible section as well as a kids section.
Yeah. I personally hope the Disney store does not go away. On Facebook, I'm on a lot of Disney park Facebook groups, just regular Disney groups. And there are so many Disney stores across the United States closing. It's sad. And some of it was out warning. I don't know if some of it had to deal with the pandemic. I don't know. There's a lot of Disney employees that got let go in the parks. Disneyland has been closed for so long now.
We just need to hope and pray that the Disney store goes back to what it was.
Yeah. Definitely.
But we will see you tomorrow for another 25 days of Disney. See you guys.
Bye, guys.